Alrighty, let's see how this works. Not overly confident, but we will see nonetheless. Let's fade that out. Nice and faded out. Now, welcome to what could be an interesting an interesting stream, that's for sure. This will just be a test to see how things run. I might need to play around with my settings, and so on and so on. If you hear playback at the moment, it's just me hearing my own audio, because at the moment, I don't really have much I can work off. And we'll move over to this screen. Alrighty, let that catch up for me. Hey, welcome. Awesome, welcome to it. I'm just playing around with trying to figure out audio and such right now. How are you? Those levels look a little quiet. I'll bring that up a little bit. I might be a bit quiet as well. Do tell me if I'm too loud, too quiet, whatever. Welcome. I'm just gonna chill and play some Mario Kart. Nothing too intense or anything like that, just something to relax with. We'll go with the tried and true King Boo. Make sure that's actually decent. I'll go with that. That should be all good. DK Jungle's one of the best ones. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. Ooh! Yeah, excited to get out of good old ISO. Done spending time with yourself. I can imagine. Sounds like it would have been an absolute pain. Don't envy you. Don't envy you at all. Honestly. Alright. Okay, I'm not great at this course. Alright. Let's see how badly this cuts out. How jittery this is. I expect I'm going to have to play around with the settings and such, so... Do tell me if it's jumpy, if it's stuttery, if it's this, if it's that. I'd also imagine that the bandwidth will be an issue, if anything else is. Obviously, I live in a house of children. And it is currently school time. So I imagine that will affect things, but I am busy most of tonight, so a little jumpy. Scale of 1 to 10, how bad we talking? So if it's as bad as I think it probably is, or at least my playback is, I will see what I can do. I might just turn down the output as well. That might help fix it. 6.5, so it's pretty bad then. I know there's a bit of stream delay, but I'm okay with that. In fact, I prefer a bit, just in case I do need to run. Ooh, my internet too. I have a feeling it's mostly mine. Oh, looks like that message needs to be changed. Looks like I need to play around with a few more things. Oh boy. Yeah, because it's the first time streaming on the new laptop, so it's everything's not set up the way I had it before, and I'd like managed to figure out how to stream with a potato on the last one. Now that I'm not running something absolute shit, it's figuring it out all again, and I've fucked this race, haven't I? I have. Can I salvage it? Nope, I can't. Oh. Yeah, my playback's pretty bad. I'll leave it for a second, give it another race or two, but... Yeah. That's the fun of this, is there's no real way to test how it goes in stream without streaming. So, there'll probably be a fair bit of shitty streams like this and small ones. Although on the bright side, I am seeing that this runs runs OBS a hell of a lot better. I can actually run YouTube in the background and play music off that rather than having to download, what, a 5-hour fucking thing off the internet to play music in the background while I do my whole starting soon thing. So that's an upgrade. I'll take what I can get at the moment. Yeah, plus this is a bit of a break between work, so I gotta work on the show later, and I also do a bit of uni work, and then if I'm reading the group chat correctly, I'll probably be hopping on Discord as well. But if the audio levels are good, that's a good start. How's the music for you? Like, I'm not overpowering it, it's not overpowering me. It's still audible. Yeah, I haven't been taking sufficient breaks. Mostly just working as much as I can, because my plate's been pretty much full, and then any chance I've had to have my partner over, it's been pump out 3-4 days worth of work in 2, maybe 1, depending on oh, good to hear. Yeah, no, it's me just trying to pump out work pretty crappily. Sleep schedules are still a little scuffed. I somehow managed to subscribe myself to sleeping on particular days, rather than every day, which was not good. It's not good at all to do that. Like, there was a while where I had like, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I'd sleep. And like, the rest of the days through the week, I would just like, yep, I'm gonna push through the night and get as much work as I can done. And in all fairness, it was fucking productive. It's not terrible, the stream. Okay. It was productive, but obviously health wasn't at my forefront in my mind. So that is, thank the Lord, starting to change a little bit. Yeah. What can you really do, though? I mean, hell, I get a week next week to try and recover. The radio show takes a week break, and I can hopefully pick myself up a little bit. That, and stress-wise, it's a little bit easier because now I'm done paying off this laptop. I am of next week. So that will take a fair bit off my mind. And hopefully with lockdown, we have a bit more of a roadmap out. And that should calm the nerves. You'd think so anyway. Although, I'll be honest, looking at the bloody case numbers we're getting nowadays, I think like yesterday was 400 and something, and it's just like, bleh. Don't know how people can do it. Like, I've almost just been staying away from all the news recently just because it's all the same. It's all the same emotion now. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, at everything. Like, I completely get why people are getting stressed out by it. I don't envy anyone who has to report on that shit daily or anything like that. Even the radio show. Like, I've made a push to push, you know, your Yon Blues and your other helplines that are available at every break, just so I can have, you know, some peace of mind that, you know, maybe I'm convincing someone to look for help. But on the bright side, we are looking to come out, and it looks like... Oh god, that's a long message. I will read that in between races. I'm gonna move my laptop a little bit more closer to how I'm looking. There's a fair bit of delay from the laptop to the TV that I'm playing on, so I can't play this off the TV. Actually, that delay's not as bad as I thought it was. It's still not great. It's like a second's delay, which does change things. Yeah, the fully vaxxed, having just Sparks noting that little thing you sent through. Yeah, it'd be nice to have it changed, not changed, but us getting somewhere with that. We are making progress, obviously, now that they opened it up to our age group, under 30s, I think it is, in a more broad sense, 16 to 35 or something. And that's the age group that actually, you know, gives a shit. Like, they've been making an effort to go get vaxxed and shit. I know I've got my first jab. My second is in mid-October, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And also with different places. And New South Wales was pushing for a vaccine passport of some sort, where you can't get into particular places without being completely vaxxed or this or that, and I love the idea. Here we go. Once we reach 70 to 80% fully vaxxed, then we'll slowly be getting set to lockdown. Maybe like New South Wales, who are fully vaxxed, have access to things. Yeah, that's the idea. At the moment, they're trying to push us to have some sort of freedoms once we get to that. I honestly don't think 70 will be enough. I more think it'll be pushed to 80-85%, but, you know, fingers crossed. 12 to 15-year-olds are allowed to get vaxxed starting from yesterday. Oh, shit. Well, I mean, that should open it up a little bit. Those numbers should skyrocket a little bit. I reckon 14, 15-year-olds will be all over it because they want to avoid the virus, and it seems to be that age group, or at least you know, 25 and under, that's more aware and more cautious of all this. I think more being future, trying to future-proof themselves and know that, you know, the longer the coronavirus pandemic is going on, the longer it will take for our generation to recover from it. Shit, this is a major event in history. Like, we're not going to be recovering from this for another 20, 30 years properly. Financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, anything like that. I expect things like face masks will become the norm as we get older. But, hey, I mean, shit, people can rock a face mask. So, that'd be fascinating. And we'll get to see the evolution of a brand new fashion in face masks. That's really depressing. I'm trying to look for something. On a bright note, out of that though, the funniest thing I've seen in a long time now is Daniel Andrews. Everything about him right now is just passive aggression, and that's a man who's fucking sick of it. Like, I'm not sure if you saw yesterday's press conference, but during the press conference, one of the reporters or journalists told him about something coming from the federal government. Hello! The stream does look like shit. I am testing it out on the new laptop. I got to play around with some with the specs. So do bear with me. I'm also just running it for a little while because it could also be bandwidth with children in the same house, all doing school and Zoom calls and Google Meets and whatever the fucks. So bear with me on the stream lag and bits and bobs because it's probably going to be like that. But where was I? Yeah, no, Daniel Andrews has been hilarious. Obviously, like, yeah, he's been a punching bag for the last however long. And yeah, if I was in his spot, I'd be pissed as well. But I mean, can you blame the man? Like, the press conference yesterday, as I was saying, it's I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before. He found out about more vaccines coming into Victoria mid press conference from a journalist who found out at that point because the information had just become live. He hadn't found out beforehand, and like, if you haven't seen the clip, one, it's everywhere on TikTok for me at least. Like, but two, check that shit out. Like, whoo. That, and I'm waiting to see. Something, hopefully, happen with good old glider spider chicken. But I will try and move us away from the ever so depressing news that is in COVID land. That's the problem with lockdown. There isn't really much news, is there? How about you two? What's going on with yous? Still twos? It says one. No, it says three. Oh shit, who else is here? That's strange. Ah, all goods. Yeah, it'll probably do that a little bit. I reckon I'll go till like 3:30 or so, and then I'll see how it is. Just think of it as chatting. If you can hear me chatting, then you're hearing the bulk of the stream. And unfortunately, with this laptop, there will be no face cam. This laptop, well, not at the moment. The face cam on this laptop is a fucking potato. The last laptop had a much better face cam and much better camera. So yeah, that won't work. Not much work studying, trying to get on top of the ladder. Yeah, I feel that I'm going in circles trying to read that chat. Watch us still somehow make like a 5th. Yeah, I mean, that's been the way. That was interesting. I found myself recently, because I had my partner over. I don't fucking remember the name of the laptop. For me, it's just a laptop. I'll have a look in a minute. I'm not a specs guy, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head. I believe it's the Acer Aspire 3? Sorry, just trying to read things on the laptop. I don't know if that helps at all. It was like... It was like 600-ish. It was what I could afford. That's better than what I had. Don't remember, it's not going to set the world on fire, but... It's made a difference. Yeah. As I was going to say, though, fucking... one of the things I did find interesting, something I reckon actually people should watch if they haven't. I had my partner over the weekend, and we ended up watching Straight Outta Compton. Obviously, I'm not... You guys know how white I am, how white my music taste is. Oh, nice and tense. And like, I don't mind bits and pieces of, you know, NWA style rap, and obviously the musicians that fell out of it. But like, fuck, it was a good movie. Like, I don't know who the actors are. There weren't really many big actors that I recognised, but whew, they were good. That and like, I don't know, it was done really well. The music was my very white best friend who got into. Yeah, it's really good. Like, I don't blame your friend. I'm just like, I don't know. I found it interesting because we ended up just watching it out of you know, oh, not much else to do. Let's just chuck on a movie we both haven't seen. That's the thing, I thought it was a hit because almost out of nostalgia reasons for people who are into that music. Or more, I guess, surrounded by that music. Same as, and that also around then, it was the start of that trend of, you know, all the music, musician movies and whatever. We got what? The Elton John one, the Queen one. I believe there was another one around the same time. But there was a bit of a push for them around that time. For me, the stream is frozen. No, it's catching up. It's showing me a slideshow. I will definitely need to play around with that. Oh boy. If about... I mean, yeah, well, that's most musicians. Like, if you look into the music industry for history, especially around anywhere before the 2000s, it is rampant with drug use. Like, no successful musician in that era didn't touch drugs. And I mean, it kind of just fits the vibe of it, though, because they started from that rather than grew into it. So it's like, I don't know, it feels more natural for them to have continued doing it. And there's a, you know, that party lifestyle, obviously it's based very, very, very closely on real life. But, you know, the payoff at the end in that it's not, you know, an overly happy ending, kind of helps that along. Because it's like, oh yeah, they partied, they did drugs, they fucking party lifestyle. Didn't work. He's fucking dead. Like, fucking tragic movie. The more you look into the story and the more you actually pay attention to it. But pay attention to it on a surface level, it's fucking tragic. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the Queen one. I kind of refused to after hearing the. It's Ray about Ray Charles. I haven't seen it. I didn't know there was a Ray Charles one, to be honest. Might be worth checking out. How old is it? That and I found most good, bloody, what's the word I was looking for? Yeah, good music documentary movies are mostly on musicians that, you know, nobody knows of. Because there's not... Either that or they're, like, fake stories. Or stories that are somewhat built off different shit. Well, yeah, of course it was filled with Queen music. Like, that was always going to be the case. Yeah, I refused to watch it because I know... Like, the reason it was fucked around and edited so badly was because... I could be wrong on this, I could be wrong on some of the facts on this, but don't take my word completely. The other members of Queen, obviously not Freddie Mercury, complained about the lack of them in the movie, and they complained essentially that they weren't in the movie enough, and that the focus was on Freddie Mercury because of fucking course it was. It's Freddie Mercury, maybe the most influential musician of the last 50 years. There's an argument there for heaps of other musicians in different genres. But, you know, definitely one of the most mainstream ones. You've sent a whole lot there. I am not looking at the screen right now. I will have a look in just a second. But yeah, they complained that there wasn't enough of them. And there was already a cut of the movie that was going to go out pretty soon. So a lot of that movie was kind of just like copied and pasted as much as they could to try and fit the contracts that they had with the members of Queen to use their likeness. It's kind of sad because it's just like, no, as much as, yes, there's other members of Queen and they're talented. Especially the guitarist whose name I've completely forgotten. They're not Freddie Mercury. Like, Queen was Freddie Mercury and a couple mates. That's the saddest part of it. It's like, the Beatles, yes, every member exists, and every member has a different meaning in the world. You know, there's Ringo, there's another famous one that's named completely escaped, Paul McCartney, that's the one I was thinking of. And there's John Lennon. They all go down in who was most famous. It was obviously Lennon was unbelievably talented and famous. But Paul McCartney worked so close with him that Paul McCartney kind of dripped off, and also both Lennon and Paul McCartney were arguably the best songwriting duo of all time. And then Ringo Starr kept himself relevant by being a Beatle. Like, and then there's the drummer. And the fact that I can just say the drummer and, like, that be their name essentially. And there were two drummers. Shows how popular they were. You know, if they're going to do a Beatles movie, yes, you could do all of them, but you're not going to focus on the drummer. You're not going to give each member equal time. You're going to focus on the more influential ones. That's where I feel like the Queen movie flopped. It just didn't focus on Freddie Mercury as much as it probably should have. Here we go. Ray was made in the 2000s, starring Jamie Foxx, one of the more on Kanye. Has Jamie Foxx reprising his role as Ray to sing an opposite version of one of his songs, becoming Gold Digger? I mean, it's gonna fucking sound weird from me to defend Kanye West, but there's a reason he's as famous as he is. He's not smart, doesn't portray himself in that manner, but he is a musical genius when it comes down to it. I feel like the moron is a bit harsh for someone who's probably one of the more influential musicians from the last 20 years, because he really is. There's a reason his stuff from the 2000s is seen as powerful as it is. I mean, even looking, there's a reason people would dare say that he's got some of the best albums of all time. He is a good musician. He might not fit my taste in music, for example, but he is talented to a fuck. You could even make the argument he's going to get some movie in a similar vein in, 30, 40 years. Knowing him, probably less. I mean, you gotta remember, he's famous enough to have made Kim Kardashian famous. You're right, it doesn't make you smart. But that man knows how to keep himself relevant, which in the industry he's in, I would argue is the smartest thing he can do. There's a reason his newest album did so well, even with the first song being Donda, which, look, I mean, I know the meaning behind it, but that wasn't obvious on the first listen. Instead it was just, all I heard was Donda, Donda, Donda. And if you're not aware, Donda was the name of his mother. He says it 58 times, which is how old she was when she passed away. And he says it to the beat of his mother's heartbeat before she passed. Which, it's pretty interesting. And unfortunately, I can't really make too many jokes without feeling guilty, because then I feel like I'm just going, haha, dead parent. Which, eek. I'm not a fucking Batman villain, so I'm not doing that shit. Can I grab you? Oh, no. Okay. It's, no, just not my taste in music either, so I'm not too versed in Mr. West's, doings. I mean, that's the thing though with most musicians, is they're dumbasses. Like, look at Ozzy Osbourne. Obviously one of the most influential and famous rock musicians of all fucking time, and will always be. That man is, he is as dumb as a fucking rock. And no offense to him. If I met him, I'd be fucking groveling, but most famous musicians aren't smart. They're in music because they're in music. Most of the smarter musicians did a form of music that would require more mathematical knowledge or something like that, like jazz. I'd say jazz is probably the biggest one there. Jazz, classical. There are two that come to mind. Of course, though, that's not to say that every musician isn't smart, or cannot be smart. Old mates, I can't think of an example. There are some. But at the same time, when you're bringing in that kind of money, you don't really fucking need to be smart anymore. Why be smart when you can be rich? And I know what I'd rather prefer. Be dumb and rich or fucking stupid and poor. No, what? Dumb and rich or smart and poor? No, Ozzy's not a complete moron. But he's pretty fucking dumb. The thing about Kanye, though, is we don't get much of a look into his life. Like, as I said, the man knows how to keep himself relevant. We don't know how much of that is him. And, like, watching interviews with him, he is actually pretty fucking smart when he wants to be. I mean, yes, with the Trump stuff, but like, everyone's been disappointed by someone in a similar way, and if you haven't, you're going to be. And I'm sorry that I had to break that to you. So I don't blame him for the Trump shit. There were plenty of people who supported Trump in the early days that changed their minds the more Trump went on. I mean, the other option wasn't fucking much better, to be honest. But the US hasn't had a better option in a long time. Both parties are pretty shit. But that's a whole argument. I don't blame him for that. I mean, this is the thing that you seem to forget, that there are plenty of musicians who, like, they don't make their political views apparent until years and years and years and years after they were famous. I look at Pearl Jam. You can't see it right now, but on, like, behind me I have a framed vinyl of the album 10, their first big album. One of my favourite albums of all time. And, like, they are fucking right-wing pricks. But their music is fantastic. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird one. Because, like, it's also, you know, not everyone's smart in every particular area. For example, I know jack shit about cars. A car is a car to me. Whereas, you know, other topics I am much, much more knowledgeable on. I don't know if the stream has frozen. I think it has. How long have I been talking into the void? Probably a hot minute. Looks like I've been talking into the void for a while. Huh. I might have to play around with that. No, I'm fine, okay. Might just be my end. Looks like we've lost a Bree. Give it a second to catch up on my end. Ooh. Enough. Okay. Yeah, I look like I'll probably have to play around with. I will have to play around with a bunch of shit. So I might. What time is it? We go for another 5 minutes or so, then we'll turn off and see what I can do. I reckon a good chunk of it's the bandwidth and running OBS on this for the first time. Let's figure out the settings and fix that up. It should be better. Might even make it run at a more stable FPS. And a less strange output. Ooh, it's chugging. It is chugging. I will have to fix that in a minute. Ugh. What I might end up doing later tonight, though, is once I've figured out once I've actually figured things out, I might chuck on the. It's not a state of play. It's the PlayStation Direct, whatever the fuck it was, the one they did a couple of nights back. Because I have to watch that anyway. I haven't seen it yet. I know some of the bigger announcements because, you know, I live on the internet. Of course I would. But I would like to see how they've done it, see how they've structured it, because years of watching directs and state of plays and E3s and the PlayStation Showcase, yeah. Years of watching those, you can announce some of the best games in the world, yes, but if you structure the announcement thing wrong, then, you know, it doesn't have the same ring, it ruins some of them. You can also, depending on how you edit it and put it together, you can get a larger reaction than you would have elsewise gotten. I look back at, for example, when they announced Sans as a skin for Smash. The way they did that and the way they paused on Sans, that was on purpose to get a reaction. Because somebody at Nintendo fucking knew Sans would get a reaction. And it was really well done. I also look at, I think 2018's Nintendo Direct was fantastic. There was a little bit of garbage in the middle, but that's where you want the garbage. You want to hook them at the start, keep them hooked around about the middle-ish, and sprinkle the less popular, not so much indie title, but maybe the single A, double A titles where you can between those. But you want to have them. Yeah, you want to have them broken up in a way that allows for people to stay interested. And a good way to do that near the end is, of course, the sizzle reel, because it's fucking, oh yeah, that happened! Which is, you know, gets people talking and thinking about the first thing that you announced again. And then any good announcement direct thingy will have that last announcement. Now, I would argue differently. I look at when they announced Banjo, Kazooie in Smash and Hero in Smash. They opened it with Hero. That was a huge announcement for the time because, yeah, new Smash character. And then they built on that and slowly announced things through there. And at the end, they did the, at this point, fucking expected, but wait, there's more. And then we got Banjo and Kazooie. And the way that direct specifically was spread out was fantastic. The only downside I can think of was the Empire of Sin game, because it got too long a trailer for a game that no one cared about. I'd argue the start and the start and the end are the most important. The middle is where you announce lesser important things, but things that are still important. So, for example, running my mind through some of the stuff that I know was announced, I would predict Thor and Spider-Man to be the starting back. I don't know if I agree with it leading to it, necessarily. I need to move that fucking... Ignore the fucking midstream. No, you can't see it. Haha. You can't see it. I'm gonna quickly do a pause in a sec and play around with something in front of me. But yeah, you want to split it by, I guess, what works best for it. I can't see it, that doesn't help it. I'll play around with it afterwards. Fuck it. I won't do it now. How the fuck are there 5 people watching this shit? Sure. Yeah, the lumpiness, I don't know if I agree with it, calling it lumpy. It's just lesser exciting things. You know, if it's a Nintendo one, I would say... You know what, if it's Sega, for example. You'd lead it in with the big things that you'd expect. I don't even know which company I'd choose, because I can't think of a company that's got... I can't think of smaller properties that are also very, very popular. Nintendo's probably the biggest one I can think of there. But, like... Hey, don't say that. I wouldn't be watching this shit. Nah, but like... with Nintendo, for example, with an announcement you kind of expect you'd leave that at the somewhere in the middle. You'd leave it just after a big announcement, because just after a big announcement, that's your chance to lead in with some lesser stuff, and you know, it's a place to keep it there while people are also thinking and talking, and they're already in a really good mood, and before they can realize that, you know, that you're starting to show them lesser shit, that's when you pull up with, like, what's a good example? Maybe a port or something. If this was Switch, maybe... I can't think of a game off the top of my head. The Yakuza games are coming to Switch. Yeah, it's a still image of Mario Kart, that's what it is. Yeah, nah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, actually, I think it's 2 viewers and 2 bots. I mean, yeah, look. It is simple geometry. You can see it. Like, I can see it now while it's still going. But I mean, it doesn't need to be intense. Like, a series worth watching on YouTube is called Boundary Break. We'll just go into that shit. Like, oh, that's not really, you know, the player isn't meant to see that much. Don't put effort into it. What the fuck are you thinking putting effort into it? Like this, we're not going to be focusing on, for example, the wheel being an octagon. Because you don't really ever see the wheel. Instead, they're going to focus on making things look good at a glance. Unless it's fucking, like, Big Blue, which for some reason on this game is fucking massive. Like, I think the zoom out of it has the loaded area being something like 400 times bigger than the map size and completion, which is big for the sake of being big. I honestly reckon you'd enjoy that kind of stuff. Just, you know, behind the scenes dev work of like Resi 2 or something like that. There's a game I might play on this. Resident Evil. I've played one. I haven't actually played one. I have no way to play it though, without buying the shitty remake. One's just, I don't like the tank controls, so I'm probably not going to. But the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, which are fantastic and good. I haven't actually played the Resident 3 remake. I just know it's of lesser quality than 2. But yeah, so it's of lesser quality than 2. I will probably play through 2. Oh, excuse me. Go through, I reckon, Leon's story, jump over to 3, play through the main story, maybe jump back to 2 and play Claire's story. Just so I'm not... Yeah, well, fair enough. That makes sense. But, like, yeah, no, it's... Yeah, I might play those. Be good to play something not Mario on this. I'll finish this cup and I might switch it off so I can play around with some settings I might be on later tonight. Probably, like... What, I got a meeting at 6, I got another meeting at 7-ish. Oh, pardon me. So maybe... Oh. Closer to... Maybe just 7:30-ish. But while I finish this one off, I will continue to chat about who knows what the fuck. Now the Resi games feel like a plan. Oh, look. Was it the remake, or... Because I'm not the biggest fan of the original. I'm just not a fan of the tank controls and all that. I get why it's, you know, it's so loved and all that, but... I know the remake is one of my favourite games of all time. Despite, yeah, I'm the same as you, I'm not very good at horror games. I just suck at horror. Like, I've just about finished through playing through Claire's run. Yeah, the remake. Yeah, see what you did there. Yeah, I just about finished playing through Claire's run now, on my own, and like that, even though it's the same area, well, most of the same areas, managed to scare the shit out of me quite a lot. Things like Mr. X appearing. Oh, yeah, it's... Are you going through them in order, Bree? Because after 4, there's a big drop. 5 and 6 aren't worth worrying about. 7 is apparently the most horror-esque. It's one I'd love to play, but I'd need to play it on like a stream or something, because I would never be able to convince myself to play it. Yeah, in Claire's run, he appears so much earlier. Because, like, in Leon's run, I'm like, oh, he won't appear until this point. You know, he won't appear until I start to get rid of the helicopter. In Claire's run, he doesn't give a shit the helicopter's on fire. He just appears and he's like, fucking hi! And also in Claire's run, you've got barely any ammo, so... that's always fun, and there's more lickers as well, which is... Fuck lickers. Fuck them. Hate them. I could do without lickers in my life. Yeah, no. 7 though is meant to be terrifying. I haven't played it. I haven't watched anyone play it. I think I played like the first 10 minutes of it. I thought, whew, this is too much for me. I mean, yeah, fair enough. I know 5 and 6 are more actiony. And of course, if you want to follow the plot, because I know what happens in 8. If you want to follow the plot of what happens now, you need to know what happens in 5 and 6 and be very aware of who Chris Redfield is. Which is, like, alright. No, I get you though. Might as well play them regardless of how good they are and get yourself into the series. It's a famous series for a reason. And it's a game series that's oh, pardon me. And isn't as cryptic and fucked as fucking Silent Hill. I don't understand how people get scared of it when you don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, that's how fear works. Fear is based on your imagination in most, like, good fear anyway. A good scare is based on your imagination. So having an idea of what's going on, but still having that be scary, is good horror writing. That's why things like Five Nights at Freddy's and other jump scare-esque YouTube games were seen as fads or only really appealed to children. Obviously, you know, good old Matthew Patrick made those games much more famous than they should have been. But point still stands. That's why a jump scare works, is because it's literally just a jump scare. A game that's only jump scares will never succeed. It is, but you need to have some idea of what's there. Like, fear of the unknown, yes, but there's the fear of something that's known. The fear of not knowing things about the unknown. Like, the ocean is scary because we don't know much about it. Things like the idea of aliens are scary because we don't know much about it. We have the base. The rest is unknown. And that's why that works. Same with ghosts and things like that. Whereas when you know everything about something, it doesn't really make it all that scary. When you know nothing about something, I don't know how you can find that overly scary, because it's the same jump scare. And then you've learnt about it. I'm enjoying this conversation, so I'm not doing another Grand Prix. But yeah, I mean that's how fear works. It's the imagination. That's why, like, a fear of the dark is such a thing. Because you know that things could be in the dark, but you don't know what. And that gets your imagination going as to, well, what is it in the dark? And that's what makes you afraid. Because even as an adult, you're like, well, you know, there could be something in the dark, but you don't go imagining fucking monsters and ghosts and zombies and fucking whatever. You just picture, like, oh, it could be my cat. That's what that is, it's my cat. Like, that's not scary. That's why I think Resident Evil, the second run of Resident Evil works so well, is because it's, you know what could be there. You know what's around, but you don't know where, you don't know when, and the moment they mix that up, it's like, holy shit, where is everything? Like, that, I found Claire's run a lot scarier than Leon's because it was, one, I'm underprepared, which is the point. You can't just kill everything, like you can in Leon's. But your preconceived notions of, like, oh, this room has a liquor, this area is fairly safe, you know, that kind of stuff. It's challenged immediately. Okay, have a good one, man. Enjoy work. I won't be going for too much longer. Finish this sentence. It's probably this race. But, yeah, I mean, that's why fear works. That's why Resident Evil works. And honestly, playing through them might be a good way to get through them. Because they are fantastic games. Played through 2, I've got 3 as well. I've got both in hard copy, actually. Then I've got 7. I can get 4. I could do Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and then maybe I'll do 8. Maybe? I could probably also be like, haha, it's Halloween! Spooky! I mean, that could work. Everyone loves some spook content during the month of Spooktober. I looked away for a second and now I'm in the mud. That's not good. Alrighty. Well, that's that race finished. I might start to wrap it all up. Because obviously this stream has been a slideshow. Yeah, it'll be something that's it'll be something that other people would also get involved in. Like, it's not me playing Discord Halloween Party. I mean, depends on what we do, really. Like, I don't know, what am I having to do for it? What are we doing for it? Because I'm down in theory. Hold on, I'm gonna end the stream. I'll hop on Discord. Chat to me there. That way there's no, like, 14-second delay between our conversation.